surgery for anything. I'm not here to tell people to do with their hair or their bodies. You can perhaps just benefit from over 35 years of experience in health and fitness. Not for nothing, but going on 55, I haven't had the need to do any surgery. It's wonderful to be able to wear my own hair and the skin of somebody that had a truckload, of acne. As someone that doesn't eat junk food, I mean, that is so amazing. I feel so fortunate and blessed that I don't have to eat junk food. That is still on my fitness journey. Um, all of these decades, right? I've competed in fitness, I'm yoga certified, kettlebell certified, pre-postnatal certified. It's been a long journey. And this is coming from someone that was a junk food junkie, and it comes from a family pattern history of self-soothing with food, of seeing a lot of narcotics and drug abuse and alcohol abuse, and always wanting to know why. Why, and is there any way to change our trajectory? Is there anything that we can do differently so we can really enjoy our time in our own hair and skin? So, natural weight loss, it is a thing, and it's totally possible. There's so much information floating around on the internet. Today, you can have two folks with double, triple degrees on totally opposite ends of the spectrum, and coming from totally different perspectives when it comes to keto, when it comes to eating carbs, when it comes to doing cardio, when it comes to longevity, when it comes to what foods clog the arteries. It is absolutely, it is so confusing. And just so that you know, if I sense a hint of disrespect, I will cancel and you won't have access, because there's too much access um, to the internet for sometimes males that just are just aimless. So I'll just take a screenshot and I'll make sure that I don't have any moderators in here today as of yet, but I'll make sure that I screenshot you and report you and cancel you, because I don't have a taste for disrespect, right? So Jayanti, let me just cancel you real quick. This is what I'm saying, right? Usually I'm paying any mind, but it's so unfortunate you have so many aimless men on the internet. Let's say how we remove and report you. Let's say how should we say, Deontay? Should we say unwanted commercial content or spam, pornography, so-and-so young people's abuse, hate speech or violence, no, promotes terrorism, harassment or bullying? I think we'll choose that one. Self-injury, no. So let's go with the harassment or bullying, right? Being that you don't have any home training. Yeah, let's go with that one. And we'll just report you. How about that? And then we'll delete you from the channel. How about that? So wherever you're coming from on the planet, if your parents have not taught you about home training and respect, then that's unfortunate. I'll just quickly just delete you, and then you'll miss out. You could be here wandering aimlessly on the internet instead of learning something about how to take care of your impotence or how to take care of your clogged arteries or your health. You choose to be disrespectful, and that's usually coming from somebody that feels powerless. So y'all gonna have to learn. Hopefully you have to learn respect, because there are increasingly more and more women that are choosing to disengage with you because of a simple lack of respect. The more women taking self-defense, learning weapons, learning how to use weapons and so on. So there's nothing like consequences. One of the best gifts my godfather ever taught me was that you only have power if you can inflict the consequence on your adversary. So usually consequences, they have to be, usually I found, first of all, you hit people in the pockets, right? Financial, legal, and then if possible, physical. Consequences, or you just remove them, because some folks just want some kind of attention. It's unfortunate though, but if you're going to move around like a lump on a log, like you don't have home training or you care for smut, I don't know what to tell you, but this would be the wrong place. Yeah, so I'm not a baby. I'm a grown woman. I'm not a shorty. Let me help you out, Eliane, because let me help you out. This is why I usually don't come online, because so many folks just feel a waste of space. I don't have time to train grown folks. I'm not shorty. Grown woman. If you don't have home training, that's not my problem. So I'm going to delete you real quick. This is like a social experiment. So I remove you. Right. So y'all have to learn. If y'all don't learn, women and men are going to learn. this season, while you're wasting time online, you could be learning a language, how to grow food, carpentry, so on. You only have access because you can float around anonymously and look around because you paid for some phone credit to just work around on the internet. It's like, but this is where it's at. It's like, it's so, it's, I don't even want to say sad, but this point, I'm very, I have a lot of feelings for folks, but at this point, nobody has the time. It takes time to grow food and to have a garden, to do fitness and self-defense, learn new skills with weapons and so on. So nobody has the time for your fetishes. Y'all gotta go find some workers to go pay for that if that's what you're looking for. Go find someone to pay for that. I'm all about consequences over here. So anyway, the 3 leverage lifestyle practices again that I promote on this channel are peaceful consumption, food that demonstrates that it loves you back, a daily personal movement practice for everybody, but especially for women. If you are not getting fit in these times, you have to be like, if you're sitting there praying, you're spending so much time in a religion of your choice, but you're not getting into action around growing your food and your fitness, what are you doing? Then you are a sitting duck. You want to be able to run, jump, kick, punch. I'm very proficient with machete, and some other things. So you want to be able to perform to inflict consequences, and also if you need to sprint, if you need to climb a fence, these are things that are very practical, as well as enjoying physical fitness. If you can't do these things, ladies, you are a sitting duck. For the men folks that are scrolling around, by the way, you can like, comment respectfully, and subscribe. The tiniest hint of disrespect, I remove you. And this is why a lot of my interactions are behind a paywall. They are behind a paywall. Wow, we got a lot of folks from other countries on here in the internet, so you're not in English. Maybe you have the captions on your screen. I just think it's amazing how many men just stare into the screen for hours. But in any event, on this channel, it's about these leverage lifestyle practices, and a lot of the workshops are behind the paywall. For you folks that are sitting and staring, there is a workshop called Healthy Eating for Men. If you're sitting here scrolling and you have a big stomach, right? You have a big stomach like you have 2 or 3 babies inside of your belly. That's a problem. That's a sign of diabetes. If you haven't been diagnosed already, that's a sign of pre-diabetes. If your stomach is out here and you're a man, that's a problem. That's a problem. You're likely going to have issues with impotence or ED dysfunction. You'll likely have a lot of cravings and issues with your blood sugar. So you can avail yourself and benefit from healthy eating for men. That's a whole workshop. There's a whole video there that's available for you. There's always also a book called Whole Living Foods in the Hood that has budgets, so you can eat very inexpensively fresh, whole food. Fresh, whole food. I'm not talking about processed stuff. I'm not talking about, as someone that's done fitness competitions, I'm not talking about protein bars. I'm not talking about powders. I'm talking about fresh, whole foods. Foods that your cells can still recognize. For women, you want healthy, glowing skin. But if you're eating a whole bunch of packaged foods, that doesn't add up. That doesn't make any kind of sense. So healthy, whole food. If you're not exercising or moving your body, then how are you releasing the stress? Or are you taking your stress out on people, random folks on the internet? What are you doing to manage your own stress? If you are operating like just the thinking pattern of like an amoeba, right? Where it's just about eating, some quick snacks, flavored food that doesn't have a lot of nutrition, and you're just looking for women's faces to stare into, then what can somebody say for you? There's a lot of opportunity to learn skills and information on the internet. So if you're not going to use it to improve yourself, then that's not my business. So you want to make sure that you're getting something out of your time on the internet. For men folks, then there seems to be so many men right now in here. Men, you can also learn to prepare healthy foods for yourself, because nobody is your maid or your slave. And then also, there are times where your wife might be sick, where you have to also make food for your family. Are you prioritizing eating healthy, or do you just let folks feed you any old thing, slop? Or again, if you have a big stomach, that's telling you something about your habits. Our bodies, our skin, inflammation, it's telling you about all learning something, there's a lot of great so-called free information. You do have to pay for phone credit, right? But usually those folks that are just looking around for free stuff and don't invest in themselves, and you don't grow. So invest in yourself. I would definitely say for women, if you don't get, this is time to invest in yourself. I can't tell grown folks what to do, but I would say if you're investing one in your daily personal movement practice because of how it makes you feel, if you want to have healthy esteem, if you want a rock solid foundation of esteem that is not based on external validation, that is your movement practice. It's challenging. Um, you're going to sweat. If you're very deconditioned, it's going to feel like it's painful. Your line painful in the joint. But if you want healthy esteem, the first place to look to is your fitness. The sense of accomplishment that you get from pushing through something that is hard. There's studies that show how that positively affects the brain. So the first place to look if you want healthy esteem is fitness. That doesn't have to cost you anything. If anything, you want to invest in proper education so you don't hurt yourself, right? But you want to get into consistency. Without consistency, without a warm-up, without doing your core and your back, you're likely going to injure yourself. So invest in yourself to learn how to do fitness. There's so much information that's on the internet. A lot of women, perhaps the vast majority of women, can't afford all these expensive, dangerous surgeries. So your best bet would be your food and your fitness. They're not mutually exclusive. Any healthy, balanced fitness and nutrition program, if you want clear skin, a nice, healthy, natural weight, it's going to include several key components. That's going to be your food, whole, fresh, natural food that your cells can still recognize, a daily personal movement practice, garden slash nature therapy for your nervous system. Um, see, y'all have to, yeah, let me help you. Let me help you. If you're not keeping with common sense what we're here discussing, then you have to go. Let me help him remove you real quick. And so, it's oh my gosh, it's sometimes so sad. The men, you couldn't even get consideration. Where's your brain at? Where's your brain? It's like very low level. Where's your brain? Where is your brain? Why would I even consider a stranger typing on the internet? That's not common sense. It's scary, the lack of common sense. Get into a skill. It's not about liking anyone. Y'all don't even have to. I tell you, maybe sometimes men, y'all need workshops in how to approach women. You should be here trying to. I can't tell you what to do, but if you're not about improving yourself, you're already demonstrating the lack of a lack of qualifying. At least in my book, you wouldn't even qualify if you don't have character, morals. If you don't have character, morals, and discipline. I don't care if you call yourself a Christian, Muslim. It doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what you call yourself. But any woman that has common sense is what you're demonstrating. You're a stranger with a little picture on the internet. You're not even safe. You don't have any standards, so you already disqualify yourself. This is sad. Where are you getting your home training from? Where are you getting your lessons from? I'm saying, are you not embarrassed? Are you not embarrassed? Are you not embarrassed? It's not about me. Like, no, I don't care for folks that don't have intelligence, don't have discipline, don't have character, who are not healthy, who eat junk. And there's a whole other long list. So no, I don't care for anybody. I don't care what your presentation was. When you're trying to approach someone without going through boundaries and protocol on the internet, it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. It's sad. It's not to say there are not women that exhibit the same thing, but we're not on that time. We're not on that time. So anyway, the workout daily is at 5 a.m. Reach out to me if you're interested in coaching. And fortunately, there are lots of healthy boundaries and protocol because there is no time to waste. If you're wasting your time and you're not prioritizing your life force, your vitality, if you're not being discerning, then at this point you're gonna get what you get. That has nothing to do with me. I'm over here buying my BR Bubble Eye business in my garden, growing some food, talking about fruits and vegetables, self-improvement, self-defense, life skills. There still can be a lot to look forward to in life. It's all based on your choices, right? We can tune in to these online screens and we can numb out. I get it. There are many folks that are lacking connection or maybe feel hopeless, have nothing to look forward to. And so Folks become deviant. Folks become deviant. Now you said I need to get on board. Well, get on board because of communicating about that earlier. This is not the time. I can't tell grown folks what to do, especially if somebody's not paying me for coaching. But I will say this: if you're not prioritizing your health and your fitness and going for consistency, you're in trouble because we're already behind. Many of us are behind or sitting ducks, right? If you are in this time and you're addicted to expensive medications, the price is already expensive and they keep the price up. What are you going to do, right? If you're not investigating garden and nature therapy, if you're not coming together in community, not around just sitting and yapping around specific activities, then many of us women are behind. We're remedial. We're behind. We're sitting ducks. You know, we come online and brag about how we don't get along with other women. Are you paying attention? Because quite often with these online, personalities, the protection many women are scrambling from, you need protection from the protection. Have the fitness down. It's the food. You got to do better with that. This is another time. When you get clarity, when you get enough clarity, people would not be able to pay you to eat garbage. I used to be a junk food junkie. You couldn't pay me to eat most things and processed food, which to me is like a miracle that I don't eat any processed food. I prefer whole, fresh living and unprocessed foods because I'm very, very clear on what it does, the results it produces in my body. I said, put me in any environment on the planet, give me $5 and I will eat well. So it's another time. We're beyond even got to do better. We're in a sense of urgency. And, I even marvel a lot at the body positivity. The internet can lull us into complacency and not having a sense of urgency. Urgency. I can't tell you what to do, but I got to get better. We're past I got to get better. We're past I got to get better. Some stuff goes down. And many of us, our palate, we can't even take the taste of fresh whole foods. Right? I remember many years ago, over 3 decades, almost 4 decades ago, when I first changed my patterns of consumption, when I was eating, I hated all of that, the natural food. I hated it. I didn't have a taste for brown rice, which I no longer eat anymore. I didn't like avocados. I didn't like sea vegetables. I didn't like any of that stuff. I hated it. My palate wasn't used to it. I was used to, greetings, hey, Rose. I was used to half a chicken, pork fried rice back in the days. I'm telling you, half a chicken with French fries. I used to dip on my other plate. I was used to, Caribbean food and African American, standard African American diet. I was used to that. And, the foods were my family, they could cook. The food was highly flavored, but there was so much obesity. There was so much obesity. It led to a lot of cancer. I can't speak for y'all folks, but in my family, a lot of cancer, a lot of cancer. I can see my grandmother, my maternal grandmother had diabetes. I used to have to go to the refrigerator and get her insulin, and I was scared of needles. So I watched her inject herself with these needles, and I wondered, is that going to be me? I'm watching. Is that going to be me? I'm looking to see how does this and this and this add up to that, so I could potentially avoid having to take all those needles. Is it just me, or she kind of really? I don't know if I'm low, but it's usually an issue with sound, which is why I don't go live so much. I'll do the pre-recorded stuff. Let me know if you can hear a little bit better, Rose. Hopefully, I'm not gonna have Bluetooth, but we're in a time if you're not taking responsibility for your, and it's not. We're just at another time. We're at another level. Sounds better? Okay. Greetings, Diane. Greetings, Rose. We're in another time. Right? I have quite a bit of young flowers. I call my flowers around me. A lot of young women in their 20s, some of them late 20s, going on 30s, that want to have children. But I don't know that the answer is finding any random person to just hook up and have a child with. It's like a lot of it is moving out of desperation and panic. And it's like going from the frying pan into the fire. We got to really, this is time to get clear. I will say there is a lot to look forward to. There's a lot to look forward to. Even, I mean, there is something to look forward to. I think in sadness and desperation and loneliness and isolation, we're making a lot of choices and decisions coming from that space. And we're often making decisions that take us off our trajectory or change the whole course of our trajectory. It's like making decisions that affect you for a lifetime. I requested to join the WhatsApp. I approved you, Rose, to the WhatsApp. So you should see an approval in there. So between Patreon and also the private WhatsApp group, the WhatsApp is like my underground railroad, right? Because of course everything can't be here on the internet because there's too much randomness. And I think I've expressed before, I've never really totally been on board with the randomness of the internet. I think there's too much access to women, especially too much access to melanated women without boundaries. So that's not my jam. So, in an effort to maintain healthy boundaries with men and women, there's still work to do. The WhatsApp is my effort at calling folks towards community, because I only like to come together around fruits and vegetables in the garden, a daily personal movement practice, and garden slash nature therapy. So it may be very necessary for a lot of women and young women to come together into community. At this point, stuff is so random, uh, and you can't see who's who, that a lot of work is going to go behind a paywall, because it also has to be reciprocity. We're hopefully going to be scrambling more than ever, or just sit there and sitting ducks. But there is just no time to waste. Um, for folks that just don't have an urgency about change, we're not there. We haven't been there in a long time, and we're remedial. We're behind. We're behind. We're not taking our health and fitness. For example, I make an effort not to plug in too much to the internet. um, Make an effort. What do you say? I have to join your WhatsApp group, so you can reach out to me through the proper protocols, and then we'll see if we send you an invitation. So I do vet so I can see who is who. That at this current time is for natural born women with mammary glands, uteruses, menstrual cycles, your birth vaginally, etc., etc. Right? And then there are classes and workshops for you too. Um, but this is the time, the sun is starting to go down. This is the time where we don't have time to play like these catty games, or just, just the hating women on each other. Some of the stuff we've been conditioned into, to be honest, right, in terms of how women relate. But it's for us to check ourselves when these thoughts and programming come up. For example, judging folks only on how they look, which is a very dangerous thing. Only on how they look and not looking at their character, right? Not looking at their character and their moral. That's a mistake, because you're going to need, the game is sold and not told. I just made 70, and that too is old. Yes, but you can also be fit in your 70s. Also, I would say that hopefully um, you've acquired some life wisdom, right? You have your maiden, I talk about a lot, the maiden, the mother, and the crone. In your more senior, your mature years, that's the age of wisdom, of celebrating your wisdom, because wisdom is not information, right? I love distinction. There's loads, endless information, but information doesn't mean wisdom. Without wisdom and life experience, if you can have information and still make some jacked up mistakes that affect your life for many years to come, and potentially, some unborn children, right? And that's what I mean in terms of a lot of women in their 30s that, are not married, may not get married. That can make a lot of women sad. But there are other things to look forward to. And I find a lot of the flowers that I speak to, they're not having mature dialogue. They're not seeing options. So in the lack of options, they choose from a cesspool. They choose from a cesspool. At 70, we should have some kind of wisdom, some kind of life experience that we've garnered from work or mistakes that we've made. Doesn't mean that we have to hate other people, but just the clarity of, I can see now where I made some poor life choices, and I can discern what state of mind I was in when I made these choices, and these choices affected my whole life. That's valuable wisdom. That's really, really valuable wisdom. And even if we're in our 70s, we're still responsible to get ourselves healthy and fit. Because at some point, in terms of losing your cognition, losing your grip strength, possibly having a fall or a fracture, you're going to have to pay people, which is expensive, top dollar, people that perhaps don't even care about you. You're going to have to pay people for security. You're going to have to pay people top dollar to take care of you. You're going to have to rely on other people to feed you healthy. So there's not going to be a lot of options for you if you're not investing in yourself. Literally, this is not corny memes. putting yourself first, you're gonna suffer. We are gonna suffer. Can you imagine? I've had clients over the years. Can you imagine? You're scared to go out of your house because you don't have any upper body strength, and you start to feel very frail when you're out in public. If you have a fall, you're likely to get a hip fracture, and if you don't have dense bones, you're not gonna bounce back. And this is the thing. I'm like, why are women? Why are we not getting this? I think there's a lack of education, but also we're not utilizing our time effectively or efficiently on social media, right? The circles we're in, we're talking about the same topic matters, and I'm not finding they're boring and enriching. You know, it's hypnotizing and enticing to just watch, so and so housewives and being catty and fighting, but you can lose hours, a whole lot. You can lose 20 something years in front of these TV screens. Thank you. I'm exercising 5-6 days a week. I'm very physical. I'm doing strength training, body balance, swimming, walking weekly. Good, fantastic. Selena, you're so refreshing and inspiring, a breath of fresh air. Oh, thank you, Celine. So I'm encouraging you ladies to apply for community. And community in my private underground fitness community is focused on coming together around activities. Not just sitting and talking, not just bashing, the other genders. No, it's about getting into action. If you're not getting into action, that's what counts. That's what counts. If you're not coming down here visiting, for the women's immersion retreat, if we're not talking about growing food together, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? There's only but so much product. I get it, but it's like I'm about to. Aren't you dizzy? We have more products than I've got bananas off of this bunch. I find it, hey, maybe it's just me. I find it dizzying. I find it mentally exhausting. It is like it's too much stuff. So much options. People are using each other like toilet paper. We are suffocating in mounds of clothes. There's not enough days in a year for us to wear all the clothes we have. Do I like nice clothes and things? Yes, but we're suffocating under all the stuff, which is an overcompensation for not feeling fulfilled, for not having quality human interaction. So when I'm talking about coming together, it's around very specific activities. The garden / nature therapy, a daily personal movement practice, usually, at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and peaceful consumption. Real simple, right? Folks, we're so focused on aesthetics more than ever as a species. But you ever consider, these are just my thoughts in the garden, you ever consider eating for behavior? Maybe just the way my mind works. Have you ever considered eating for behavior? What do I mean? When I look at self-sabotaging behavior, and when folks are acting out of pocket, just plain old crazy. When folks are really acting out of pocket, I watch what they're eating, because I'm like, whatever they're feeding their brain, no thank you, I'm not that, I don't want any of that. Because anything I'm ingesting is, the number one thing that's taking a hit is my brain. It's my brain. So if you're acting crazy, disrespectful, just nuts, killing yourself, totally insensitive to me, I'm watching what it is that you're consuming, because I don't want that. And I usually like a greedy person. I really love to eat. But consider what you're eating for behavior, eating for cognition and brain function. How can you make good decisions if you're eating substances masquerading as nutrition that the cells can't recognize? That doesn't make sense to me. That makes no sense. That's how my brain is functioning. This is so simple. I'm like, this is simple. Why am I putting poison in my body? It's flavored poison. It's flavored poison. Avocado is not going to behave, and I'm classically trained as a chef. Avocado is not going to behave in my body the same as those half chicken and french fries with extra ketchup with a little bit of duck sauce on it. They're not going to behave in the same way. So you can tell me about the calories, which I know from doing fitness competition. I know all about the calories and calories. But depending on the quality and the type of food, they all don't behave the same way. They just don't. They just don't. And I get it, just thinking that the cheap, convenient foods are cheap, but if you run the numbers, the real cost, they're not cheap, because you can never get full off of fake food. You're never going to get full. It's a part in your mouth for a couple of seconds. It's stimulating your insulin, which is going to drive hypoglycemia and make you feel more hungry. But how can you get full if it's not food? These actually are delicious. I just cut these down with my sister the other day, and and these might even have some little teeny tiny seeds in it. But the flavor is totally different. This is real food. My bunnies will eat the skins. I can throw the rest of the skins inside compost. This is real food. It's so simple. It's so simple. But we rather make it hard. So, community, come together around activities. I invite you women. I don't tell nobody what to do, but it would behoove you to invest in yourself. Really leverage your income. I would tell myself as a young woman, your main investments is your mental health. Get some coaches. I would have several coaches. I would cut, for me, hey, we got many options. I would do my own hair, my own nails. I would cut most, if not all, those hair, weaves, and all of that. I would invest in my fitness coach, my mental health coach, and my financial coach, and then get into community around gardening and growing food. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. That's what I would tell my younger self, because those are going to give me something back. My ROI. What's your ROI? Your return on your investment for your friends, the people you're speaking to, the 5 people you're speaking to the most. What are y'all talking about? Are you gaining anything from those interactions? Do you leave communications inspired to get into action? Or do you feel more dejected? You just want to numb out and, go eat something and fall asleep, after your interactions on the internet? How are you responding to what it is without making yourself bad or wrong and beating up on yourself? What are you inspired? What are you motivated to do? What are you stimulated to do after your interactions, your downloads on the internet? I don't know what to tell y'all. But if you're not getting fit, 50, 60, you are your responsibility. You are a sitting duck. Because it's the last couple of days, and I try not to follow too much with these um, so-called leaders. But you want to know just enough so you can see how to move strategically. Like that, cut Medicaid, Pell Grants, student loans, all of that. I've been saying this for years. And just folks, especially women, we're just sitting there complacent. We're sitting there praying, praying, praying. I don't tell no folks to do. But what's wrong with us? Why are we so numbed out? I think personally it's a sign of depression, and I think it's also burnout. We're sitting there not moving in a state of an analysis, looping thoughts, snacking, smoking, drinking, not getting into action. That's nuts. It gives a sense of urgency to move and to change. If your taste buds can't take fresh greens or bitters, you're in trouble. You won't be able to afford these drugs. You won't be able to afford the therapy or the protection. You can't protect yourself. You're going to be reliant on mean people that don't like you to take care of you and to feed you properly. What's wrong with us? So if you can't move it, get some energy. This is not the time. We're not there. We were long since not there. We're remedial. We're behind. So it behooves you to if you're not getting into action around the things you say are important and you value, then there's nothing to say. There's almost like nothing to talk about. If you're not getting into action, you don't have the time. I'm not here to convince people to take care of their health. How many more leaders? You need ministers and online personalities to tell you to eat some fruits and vegetables? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. This woman, I can't go up because the sun is going down. This woman recently, I've never heard of her, some artist, rap artist, who apparently, and I'm saying this coming from a family of morbid obesity. That's the trajectory I would have been on. I have half of the thyroid. But it appears a Lyft, or Uber, a Lyft service, denied her, a drive because she was over 500 pounds. And I sat and watched and I said, wow, this is just one example. And I'm gonna be honest, this is one woman's perspective. Like when the bully becomes the bully, right? After a while, you start picking up things, right? And to me, looking energetically at the person's lawyers and her, it looks so seedy, right? This woman is carrying the weight of several persons on her, but she's gonna blame somebody for not wanting to pick her up. What the mentality? What's the accountability and responsibility? And then to see other women, other obese women, because I'm gonna speak about it, because this is my family I'm talking about. I come from that, saying that's right. He should have picked her up. It's like, are you really? So now we have, some of the bigger women. And you could be any size, but But now we're going to be turn around and be bullies now. But let's see how far that gets us. Let's see how far that's going to get. That's insanity. This is like, and so our result is a lot of us that actually don't want to be here. There's a lot of us that are committed to numbing out with food, drugs, one pay, that we're already checked out. Already checked out. And if you want to waste or utilize your life force, and then it's already depleted. Use your life force trying to convince somebody to change when they're addicted. You're wasting your time. Let me say some of my young flowers. You're wasting your time. As a young, you're not a therapist. You're not a therapist. Each one of us, your life is 110% your responsibility. I looked at that video. I said, wow, this is where we are now. This is where we are. And I get body positivity, right? We're sensitive to being teased about our hair, and our weight. I get it. But under the guise of body positivity, now the group that does not need to be complacent about our numbers, there's like we're digging our heels in, that this should be accepted. It's not that you don't have inherent value, but the numbers, your arteries are collapsing. Your arteries, your colon, your organs are suffocating underneath the pressure, right? And in our quiet moments, I may not be 300, but that's the trajectory that I was on, right? That type of gluttony has a mindset. It has a mindset of not dealing, it's just more socially acceptable than the drugs and the alcohol. It's a drug of choice. And why would somebody tell you to change when they're benefiting from you to stay the same? Come on. Wake up. But there's no time. There's no time. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, if you stay online, you stay online with these online personalities, whether they're pimps, poverty pimps, preachers, politicians, you keep sitting your butt and sitting there and waiting for them to give you the good word instead of getting into action. You're going to get what you're going to get. Your life is 110% your responsibility. So if you'd like to apply, I'm about to get off here because the mosquitoes are coming out in the garden. If you'd like to apply, my little underground railroad, not my little, but curated underground railroad of fitness and lifestyle. You can find me on Patreon. You can go to the proper protocol and links to reach out to me. There usually periodically will be a purge if you're inactive. I need to eat vegan. And again, let me say this also. Although I've been consuming living foods for like well over a decade, for many, many years, I'm not attached to the labels that people call themselves. Because you could be an unhealthy vegan, right? It's about really getting to the root. Also, the state of mind we're in when we're eating, and the propensity we have to numb out, right? You could be underweight, you could be overweight, you can have a whole lot of acne, but you can be attaching yourself to the label. So I've been all the labels, for that. It's not just the label, it's your state of mind. Are you sitting there helpless? Are you in action? If something is not producing the results, are you holding on to it because you're holding on to the label? How can you access your WhatsApp? Message me, go to the link. In my bio or my link tree. You can find me Body-Culinary on Instagram. Yeah, so my link tree is on my Instagram. Reach out to me. Identify yourself. Roshan, if I can't identify you and it's just some crazy looking cartoon or whatever, then I don't respond. And periodically, you just sit there, because boundaries and healthy boundaries are super duper critical. Lactose intolerant, a lot of foods also like pasta I can't digest right. And fruits and vegetables are better for my body, I've noticed. So good for you if you're starting to pay attention to what your body can and can't tolerate. And that is a journey to find what's working. Something might be working now, and as your body naturally responds to fruits and vegetables, starts to cleanse and to drop, then there might be certain things you can't tolerate. It is a journey. It is a journey. So it's bigger than the label that we're calling ourselves. So Body-Culinary on TikTok, on WhatsApp. There are workshops and other things that will be in community. If you'd like to support the channel, there's Cashapp, Kwasa with a K, Peaceful, like full belly, full peaceful, F-U-L-L, eating, on Cashapp. Make sure you pick up a copy of Whole Living Foods in the hood with shopping plans and menus for your budget. There's a whole menu of budgets and what I'm shopping for with whole fresh living foods, with pictures and the receipts, right? And also the mentality, if you need to really make a mental shift, which most of us need to, in order to sustain change, you got to make a mental shift. It's going to require us making a mental shift. The clarity is what's going to help you stay clear and focused for the long haul. So like, comment respectfully, and subscribe because I have zero tolerance for disrespect. I don't care your color, your age, raw food, vegan. Yeah, if it's not a respectful conversation, you got to get on down the road. So create a great day on purpose. Like, subscribe to the channel, share with somebody that can benefit, and we'll connect soon.